Hi, everybody. This is Amy Mayer with friEdTechnology, and I am here with my pals Brooke and Carrie, and we are here to talk about Google Classroom. Whoops. Hey, I have a sound over here. How about that? You really have to mute if you have a backup computer, don't you? So we're going to be talking about Google Classroom tonight, and I'm going to share my screen for a second and get you guys into the agenda where we are. You will have comment rights in this agenda, so if you want to ask a question on here or add some information, please feel free to do that. We want this to be as interactive as it can be for you. So if you want to join us in the agenda, the link is fried.tech/Taco capital T, BOUT capital B, Classroom capital C, Agenda capital A. So it's kind of long. I'll give you a second to type that in. But the reason we decided to do this show is because so many updates have happened to Google Classroom lately, and they happened, at least in Texas, pretty much when summer professional development was over with. So we got the most massive updates after we had just done, hundreds of hours of classroom professional development. So we thought this would be a great time to kind of go over everything that has happened in classroom in the last few months and make sure we're just all on the same page and we all know what features are now available, because there's some pretty significant new stuff that has come along. And so it's super exciting to us. I hope you're excited too. All right, I'll say that URL one more time, and then I'm going to switch over to Brooke. No, right? Brooke,
yes.
You're first?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, I'm going to switch over to Brooke after that. So here we go one more time. The agenda is fried.tech/Taco capital T, BOUT capital B, Classroom capital C, Agenda capital A. And I can put that on Twitter in just a second too when Brooke is talking. So I'm going to switch over to Brooke now. Brooke, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. And here's Brooke.
Hey guys, we're going to get you guys started in our Google Classroom that we have up and ready for you. First, let me just say I'm very excited about these new Classroom updates. I already was a huge Google Classroom fan, but I really feel that these new updates just kind of smoothed out some of the kinks that a lot of educators were talking about. So when you sign into your Google Classroom, you're going to see some of the same things, except now you're going to have this new classwork page. So you have stream, classwork, and people. And I'm just going to share with you first about the About section and your settings gear. So if we click on the settings gear, you're now going to see that this is where you can edit the name of your class. You can get your class code. You can also go in here to display it, reset. Sometimes you need to reset your class code because remember, those are randomly generated. And occasionally numbers and letters mean things when they're next to each other that are not appropriate. So sometimes check those class codes before your kids are putting them in because you want to make sure that that's appropriate. And then this is going to give you your settings for the stream. So your stream is going to be a lot like it was in the past, except now it's going to be a great place for just announcements. It's going to see if work has been posted. So for the stream, you're going to turn if students can post and comment here and give the different permission levels that you want. So maybe only students can comment. Carrie?
So I know I've talked about this a lot during my trainings, but I really prefer the option for the students to comment under the teacher's posts. It kind of keeps your stream more organized, and you don't have a lot of like random discussions getting started. So that's the one that I personally like the best. What about you, Brooke?
Yeah, I agree with you because you definitely want the students to be able. You want the students to be able to comment, but instead of them just posting any type of comment and asking questions, they're going to ask questions only underneath whatever a teacher posts, like on an announcement. I do see a benefit in both because I do think that it would be nice for students to be able to throw out to the whole class, but it's going to alert them one way or the other if the students have commented. So I guess I could really come up with an argument for both. I think it's going to be a teacher preference on what they allow for the students to put there.
And I think if you have more seasoned kiddos that have used Classroom before, right, I think you can leave it like that. It just kind of depends on the users, I guess.
Yeah, I agree with that. Absolutely. Especially age group. If we think about our younger elementary students, we actually would probably just have them commenting under what the teacher puts on there, not letting them just say hi and those fun things that our elementary teachers or our elementary kiddos love to put on Classroom. We'd probably be notified a lot, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Does it surprise anyone that I have an opinion about this?
Yeah.
Please share.
So my opinion about this is that we should do a selective release on it. So we start out and we don't let anybody say anything. And then we explain what it is and we say, you know, okay, this is what we're going to do now. You're going to have the ability to respond back to me, but you know, this is school. We got to be school appropriate and all that kind of stuff. So then you give them a while to see how that goes. And then eventually you do the full release. So, you know, depending on which class it is, you maybe make a decision about that. But the reason why we want to release, and I think at any grade level where you're using Classroom, is because kids have to have a chance to learn not to do things. And if we lock everything down and don't give them that opportunity, they don't get the learning opportunity. And it's a really important digital citizenship. What you don't want is a kid showing up at their job on their first day of work and putting something inappropriate out via email because they've never had an experience like that before and they don't really understand how all this works. Because, I mean, it's crazy, but people will send things with their name attached and you're like, what were you thinking when you did that? You know, but, and it's always a boy and it's always, I don't know what I was thinking, you know? So anyway, I think we got to give them a chance to try. I'll get off my soapbox now. Switch back to Brooke.
I think everybody probably in the chat is laughing because they know that that's the truth, that we do have these students who put those things out there and you ask them like, what were you thinking? And that's exactly the comment they're going to give. I don't know. I don't know what I was doing. So, and you don't have to worry about your soapbox. I think Carrie actually has like notes taken about her soapboxes that she's ready to get on. So,
well, and I'm going to add on to Amy's soapbox there. It makes me so sad when I see teachers where the kids can't comment at all. And, I mean, I tell everybody at my Google Classroom trainings, I'm like, if you see your teacher next door doing that, you go over there and tell her Carrie Orch said to make it where your kids can at least comment. So like major soapbox, because you're losing this huge communication tool that is so valuable to your kiddos by just turning it off completely. So anybody, if you see someone doing that, tell them Carrie Orch said, don't do that.
I like it. All right, Brooke, what else do we need to know about the class settings page?
I think that we're doing pretty good here. Your Guardian summaries are also going to be here. I love that they've added the C example because there's a lot of people out there who are still not sure what the Guardian summaries are and the role that it's going to play. So it's nice that they've added some of that as well. So when you're inviting the guardians of the students, you kind of know what they're going to be able to see and what they're not going to be able to see. And
right.
Again, that's an admin setting. Maybe your domain admin has that turned off where you can't invite parents. So it's something to look into and definitely do your research before you start adding guardians to your Google Classroom.
Yes, because it can be a bit of a nightmare. So.
It can. It can. Yeah, I'm going to move on from that one.
Okay, yeah, I thought maybe so.
I may or may not have lost some sleep in my life with that.
Yeah.
The next thing is that you're going to notice that's missing is, so we have stream and classwork and people, but the About tab seems to have gone away. So now the About tab is over here inside of our theme box. And when I click on About, this is all it's going to give me, the name and the option for me to display my class code. So we were upset at first. I'm sure some of you were upset at first as well that the About page seemed to totally disappear and we weren't able to do class materials. But Carrie's going to show in just a few minutes how we have brought materials back to Google Classroom. The educators, the voices of the educators brought materials back to Classroom, and we're excited to see that update. So we're going to go ahead and get into this. I'm going to stop sharing so that Carrie can.
All right. The thing that bothered me about the About going missing is that when I went to my old classes, so I went into classes that I had created before the switch happened, and I saw it, and I didn't realize, okay, these are classes that I created before and that's why it's still there. And so I spent like an hour trying to somehow make it appear before I finally figured out that was there.
That it was just gone.
Yeah, but it was just gone. And then I was really sad. But
And we'll actually talk about that if you've already created a classroom, like in the summertime, and we'll talk about how to get some things back.
yeah, that's awesome.
Okay, so let's go on to the Classwork tab, and I'm going to show you my Google Classroom. And it is called I Really Love Google Classroom.
I didn't know you could use emojis in the title of a classroom.
Well, let's talk about that. So I went and saw an awesome guy named Tony Vincent, one of Brooke's favorites.
Yes,
and
big
he
fan.
Talked all about using emojis in Google Classroom to help your kids identify things a little bit easier. And so I am totally on board. So everybody should be doing that.
I love it.
So Brooke talked a little bit about the stream, and we can see on the stream that right here, I could start an announcement and just tell my kiddos something simple like, hey, we have a field trip tomorrow. And then I have these new icons over here, and we're actually going to jump over to the Classwork tab and look at those new icons. So the first thing that I want to show you is, see, homework and test and daily grade, those are actually topics. So you can go in now and hit create, and then you can create topics. And the cool thing about these topics, guess what you can do if you click the three dots? You can move them up and down.
Yay.
So I have homework up at the top right now. Maybe I'm about to assign some homework, so I can move it to the top. Maybe if tests are more important, I can move that up and down. So I really like that feature as well. All right, let's talk about the materials, because I know this was a big thing.
Carrie, can I ask you something before you move on? I want to ask you this. I think it's been confusing to a lot of people. What is the purpose of Stream now? Because Classwork just took over a lot of the things that Stream used to do. So how would you characterize Stream now?
In my opinion, I think it's a place to see classroom discussions. That's how I see it. Because if I was a kiddo, I'd just jump on here to see what people are talking about. But if I really wanted to go straight to my work, I'm just going to go to Classwork.
I've been telling people that it's a place to see what has happened lately inside the classroom, because you don't have any control over it anymore, really. But anything that you do inside Classroom is automatically going to be in this stream. So I think I would use it like, what happened since I was here last time? What did I miss, kind of a thing.
I think that's good. I don't know. I think since they've changed it up, maybe just classroom discussions, see what everyone's talking about, and then when it's time to get busy, we go to Classwork.
Yeah, it's kind of like I kind of look at it as like the notification panel inside of any of the social medias, like Instagram and Facebook. When you click on your notification bell or the heart inside of Instagram, it shows you anyone who's liked anything. It shows you any comments, that notifies you of comments that have been left. I really feel like that's kind of what the stream looks like to me, is kind of a notification panel of all the activity that's been happening.
I think that's that to our document. Way to explain it. And I always tell everybody with Google Classroom, I said, it looks just like Facebook. It looks just like social media, so kids will like using it. So, all right. So let's look at this Create button. It's kind of a new button. So when you click on Create, you're going to have several different options. Once again, you can always do an assignment. You can post questions. Remember, questions can be multiple choice or fill in the blank, and they can be graded or not graded. You can reuse a post, which I love this feature, because if you've already posted something like the year before or in a different classroom, you can quickly grab that post again. And then, of course, you can make your topics. And then here's the material one.
Yay!
And so I was a big believer in that About tab, because I told all my teachers, go in there, put your daily schedules, put your tutoring schedules, put all those things that you tell your kids like 5 million times a year inside of that About tab. Now that that's gone, we still have materials though. So materials is where you would put all of those things that you tell your kids over and over again. And if you can see, this is the icon for materials right here.
Is that like a bookmark on top of there? Is it?
Sure.
I mean, I'm just trying to figure out what it's supposed to represent. I think it's a book with a bookmark.
With a little bookmark, I agree.
Yeah, okay. We'll tell ourselves that anyway till we find out different.
Yes. Hey, we have a comment on the chat that I'd like to talk about. I'm gonna I'm sorry if I'm messing the name up here, but it looks like Jana Lee or Jana Lee Martin.
It's Jana Lee. I know
Jana
her.
Lee,
Yes.
great. She said, I wish materials had its own section on the left side of the Classwork tab page. I don't want to move materials up every day. And I didn't know that the materials didn't stay at the top. That's new for me.
Yes, me too.
Maybe I've only added one material. That's why I didn't.
I'm going to click on it and
that.
see here.
Yeah, that's what I want to do. I want to test
that.
Yeah, because I agree with Jana Lee. It should stay at the top.
Yeah.
Oh, those stayed at the top. Mine
those did stay at the top.
I wonder
if that's a new update that we, some people had. Some people felt the same way and probably threw that out there, and they've already fixed that little
maybe so
complication. They kind of sneakily fix those things sometimes.
If you posted something new under homework, would it change anything? Like if you posted post something.
Let's see.
And add the topic homework and see if it moves things
homework
down.
Above material. Yeah.
Right.
I love this live action that you guys are getting here.
All right. I'm going to put it under my topic. It's homework.
Let's see if you had forgotten, you can go back and change it later.
No, it just went underneath that topic.
Okay. Now, I bet I have an idea here. Create an assignment and do not add a topic to it. I bet that will go up at the top.
I agree.
That may be what she's talking about.
Okay, so there's the assignment called Hello.
So what we got to do is get everything inside a topic so that we don't mess with that section that's up there.
Yeah, I'm really glad we're showing that, because that really shows why using the topic is going to be important for organization. Right. Yeah, adding the topic is then going to put it in its own subgroup, its own little window. And if you don't, then it's going to be kind of confusing then they'll have to just look at the icons and know whether it's material or if it's an assignment.
Now you could be really crazy and you could make a material topic and put material underneath that topic. So then everything is nice and organized. I just noticed that on material.
Wait a minute. You just blew my mind.
That's what I would do. I would just make a topic called material.
And can you put a material inside the topic?
Yeah, that topic? I didn't know you could do that. I'm super excited about this.
Let's see here.
Look at that.
Look at that. Now you could move that to the top.
And if you really wanted to, you could call that about if you wanted to stay old school.
Oh,
you could. You're about.
That is really, my life has just changed tonight. Thank you.
I think I like that better because then everything's nice and organized underneath.
Yes, it is.
Move it to the top. It's driving me crazy.
Yes, ma'am. I'm on it. Oh, it only goes one at a time.
We're not savages.
No.
We can't live like this.
Oh, I think that's good. I'm really glad to know that now.
Now you could open up, watch this please, and you could add the topic material to it and it would go underneath there.
I see a new GIF coming tomorrow.
Yes, I think I might be seeing that too.
Okay. And once again, guys, if you want to delete something out of classwork, you're just going to click your 3 dots and hit delete, and then it's gone. So you don't have to worry about it being there.
Sharon just asked a good question. Can you drag that? Can you click, hold, and drag like
the topic?
Like homework? Could you click it and hold it and drag it? Because if you can't do it today, I bet you will be able to eventually. Yes. And I like that idea a lot.
You cannot, but Sharon, that's a great question.
What should we do, Carrie, if we have a question or a suggestion about Google Classroom?
You should tell Google. You should go to the help thing. This little question mark down here, right?
Yes.
Ask a question or send feedback.
Yes.
Either one.
You should. And that's how Classroom gets developed. I mean, your feedback totally does not matter in most ways. Like, you will probably never see whatever you're suggesting happen, but in this tool, you will see it happen. If everybody thinks this, like if you talk to people, I wish it did that, I wish it did that, it will eventually do it if you put it in the question mark.
That is true. Okay, so from the Classwork tab, you can also jump over here to your Google Calendar, and then you can go to your Google Drive classroom folder. Should we ever delete that classroom folder, friends?
No.
Never.
No, we should not move it. We should not change it. We should not delete it. We should not reorganize it. We should leave it alone.
And I color mine red as an indicator to like leave that alone. Don't touch it. And I tell my students to color it red. So I think that's a good little trick to keep.
Carrie, for new people who might be new to Classroom, show what you mean.
Okay, so I'm going to click on, so here's the folder right here on the Classwork tab. I'm going to click on that. It's going to go to my Google Drive. And here's the title. So I'm just going to back up to my drive real quick. And then you see how this folder is red?
Yes.
So to change that folder color, you're going to 2-finger click on a Mac or right click on a PC and then go to change color. And then I'll change it to red.
I do have to say that I don't think you should change the name of it. I think that's a bad idea, and I don't think you should move it around or anything like that. Just leave it alone. But I did find some people's classroom folders that they had moved to some very strange locations, and it did not break Classroom. But if you delete that folder,
oh, it's over.
It's over. Everything will go into your Google Drive helter skelter, so do not delete it. If you have deleted it, you can go into My Drive. Carrie, show them how in My Drive you can find the deleted section, the trash over there. If you did it within 30 days, you can go in here and you can right click it and get it back. But if you did it longer than 30 days ago, then your system administrator has to actually call Google to get your folder back. It's the only way that I know to recover it.
And it's an ordeal.
It is. It is an ordeal.
All right. So one of the things that we tweeted about recently was the fact that you can post a Google form test inside of Classroom, and after it is graded, it will import the grades for you. So let me just show you this test that I made, and Brooke is going to take it for us in just a second. It's called the Super Easy Test. It's just one question, but I'm going to show you some of the settings on it. So if you go to your settings wheel, of course, you're going to turn it into a quiz right here. And then you're going to collect email addresses and restrict to your school's domain. And then last thing you need to do is limit to one response. So I've made it a quiz. I went ahead and made this question worth 100 points. You can see that here. And I have my correct answer. So I can see that no one has turned it in. It's assigned to one person. So I'm going to let Brooke go ahead and take it live. No pressure, Brooke.
It's done. It's done. It's there. Just like as soon as you said Brooke, I hit submit.
Okay, so I'm going to view responses now. And now we know that she did it. So I can see my responses. She got a 100. So if I go back to the Classroom, see this little button right here? Import grades. So I'm going to click it. It's saying, do you really want to do it? Yes. And then if I look over here to the left by Brooke's name.
That is slick. I've never seen this before.
So there's one trick to this whenever you're setting this up. You have to attach it through the Google Drive button. You cannot
say it again.
You have to attach through the Google Drive button. And I'm going to show you how to do that real quick. So now we can see Brooke's grade, and then I can just go ahead and return it.
Nice. That is so nice.
So let me show you how that looks whenever you're setting it up.
I'm just so glad she made it super easy math test.
Me too. I hate it when somebody puts you on the spot and you have to do a real math problem. And,
yeah, right.
Yeah. You're like, oh, hold on. Let me Google that.
I would have totally faked it and just been like, I did that on purpose. So you
right. So you could see what happens when you get it wrong.
What private comments are really for.
So I'm going to create the assignment. And when I attach the Google form, sometimes you like to attach it with that link. Do not do that. It's not going to import the grades. You have to grab it from your drive and connect it that way. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's really helpful to know because, yeah, I really might have gone to the preview button on the Google form and used that link, not thinking anything of it.
So That's a super cool trick. I really like that because you can easily just dump those grades in there without having to worry about it.
Well, and you especially think when it comes from the drive, your brain automatically thinks, well, that's not the live view.
Yeah, right.
Like, so
exactly.
that's how my brain would have thought about it. Like, I can't put this in to Google this way because then my kids are going to be able to edit it. It's gonna give
Exactly.
them- yeah. So I think that's great that you're showing it that way because I know for a fact that's not the way I would have put that in.
Me neither. I wouldn't have by default done it that way for sure.
Okay. Brooke and I also discovered another new feature. So I made this under daily grades. It's called Fun Assignments for the Week. And I attached a Google Drawing and a Google Doc for Brooke to work on. So I'm going to open these. And right now, Brooke hasn't turned them in, but I can do several different things here. Oops, I did it wrong. Oopsie, hold on. So now I'm viewing Brooke's assignments. Is it going to let me do it? Okay, yeah. Now, here we go. So there's a couple of cool things I want to show y'all here. First thing I can do, I can easily toggle back and forth between Brooke's two assignments. So here's her digital art, which she's working on right now. Thank you, Brooke. And then here's her inferences. So I can toggle quickly back and forth between both assignments.
Oh, nice.
Now, check this out. See this comment bank?
Love the comment bank.
Look what I can do. I can add any comment that I want.
No way.
And then it's stored in there. So like maybe the kiddos are doing the same thing wrong, or maybe I want to give the same feedback a whole bunch of times. All I have to do is just add a comment in here. I can copy it. So I'll copy this one.
And it goes to all assignments after you add it in there?
Yeah, it's just like a bank. So if you want to
Yeah.
keep using that comment over and over again, you can do that. So I just click here and paste it, and bam.
English teachers are going to go crazy for that.
Okay, this isn't finished, but I'm going to turn it in anyway.
Okay.
That's killing you to do that, though, isn't it?
It is, but it's time. So I'm just going to turn them in so that she has something to really look at there.
And you can add these private comments at any time during the assignment. She doesn't have to have it turned in. So they're like in progress, you know, maybe halfway through, I can give her encouragement. I could throw some emojis in here for her. So right here on the 3 dots by the grade, I can change the total points. So since I have 2 assignments on here, maybe I want to make one worth 50 points and one worth 50, the other worth 50. And then I can go right here. I don't have to go back to Classroom. I can grade it from right here. She's going to get 100 because she's such a good person. And then I can hit return.
Wow.
Isn't that
So
nice?
if you change the points right there, it would change for the assignment for everybody. So if you went to the next student, then it would stay changed?
Ooh, I don't know. We're going to have to test that out.
I bet it would, though.
I only have one person in this classroom. So
Yeah, Daniel's asking a question too. He said he wonders if images can be placed in the comment bank.
Oh, what a great idea.
I know. Maybe we can try that real quick and see if it's...
Well, I put an emoji in there.
Yeah, the emoji. But I wonder if you could copy like your Bitmoji.
Ooh.
Melissa Summerford is not currently on this live form, but I think I just heard her shriek from Magnolia because I know she's watching when I said the words Bitmoji and comment bank together. So
Yeah, if that's possible, we'll hear about it from Melissa.
yes.
She probably already knows, honestly.
Yeah.
Well, I just noticed that you can search the comment bank. So if you have a whole bunch of comments, you can search for one within there too.
That's so
That is
nice.
awesome.
But I don't think you can put a picture in there.
No picture
Emojis,
yet.
yes.
You know what? You can't put a picture in there yet.
Yet.
Yes. But I am certain eventually you will be able to. And that is a great idea.
So I like the fact that you can toggle back and forth between
Me too.
everything. You can add comments, and then you have that comment bank for all that cool stuff that you want to keep telling your kids all the time.
Yeah, because I'm just honestly like running a Google Classroom, and the private comments have always been so wonderful that you can talk to a student privately that way. But sometimes locating those comments in the previous form of Google Classroom, I would have to go to my notifications and really search for them to find out what assignment it was that they added those comments to. I mean, yes, this is still attached to the comment, but it seems so much easier to see the entire conversation here than it did at the bottom and on their student pages in the older version.
Yeah, it's in context here.
Yeah, it's great.
Now, if I had more than one student in my classroom, see where if I hover over this, it says select the next student.
Oh,
I can go from there and just go to the next
nice.
kiddo.
I mean, you just want to stand up and clap and dance around and
Yeah.
So that's super helpful. I love that. So
Me too.
all right. So one more thing I want to show y'all. So I'm going to go back to, I really love Google Classroom. If you were ahead of the schedule this summertime, and maybe you already made all your classes in like early June, and you don't have that Classwork tab, you can go right down here to the question mark, and you could add it. Now mine says remove it because it's already there, but you can add it to an existing classroom that you've already established before the updates. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's really nice. That's pretty. I mean, that's really new, isn't it?
yes. Yeah, I even noticed for those font friends of ours, I noticed that the font was not, they changed it. The other day, it was still stuck on, like, as of yesterday, it's back to being the new font. I know, it's crazy, just the small things. You'll notice on the screenshot.
Yeah, that's what I really looked at that screenshot for a long time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why is that the wrong font there?
Right.
Yeah.
And they changed it
Huh. So funny.
in 24 hours.
It's weird. It's weird to know that there are real people working on this, you know,
Yeah.
like just human beings.
Okay, and then Brooke and I discovered yesterday, if you decide to remove the classwork page, you can get it back. So,
And
you
it
have to-
comes back in its form like it was when you removed it.
Do you remember, Brooke?
I don't know that I had anything in there when I looked at that. We had just heard that once you removed it, it was gone forever. And so I just removed one on a practice and added it back, and everything came back exactly the same way.
Okay. Awesome.
So,
Great.
Okay, so let's talk about this last tab, which is the People tab. Super similar to the tab before. You can go right here and you can invite teachers, and then of course, you know, you can mute a kiddo if you need to. Maybe Brooke's being mean, you can mute her. We can remove a kiddo, and then of course, you know, you can add kiddos via email if you want to. But we all know the easiest way to add kiddos is what?
The code. The code.
Yes. So teaching the kiddos to use the code. And then I'm going to have a soapbox moment for just a second. And I talked to Brooke about this yesterday. So one of the cool things about Google Classroom now is you can click on your three dots and you can copy a classroom.
okay, but talk about where you're at right now
Okay.
on Google Classroom, Carrie.
So let me go back to where I was at. I was over here and I really love Google Classroom. Then I'm going to click on my 3 hot dogs over here. And
Thank you for using the correct terminology.
Well, you know, I've been using 3 dots. For
I
the
did
others.
notice.
Let's get it right, girls.
Okay, so you're going to click on your 3 hot dogs and then you're going to go to classes. I call this like Google Classroom homepage.
Mhm.
That's my lingo, kind of. I don't know.
I'd call it that same thing.
Okay, good. So you're going to click on your 3 dots here and you can copy this whole classroom. What it's going to do, it's going to take all of your assignments and it's going to put them in draft form. So this is a good thing if maybe you
Yes.
teach a similar class, like maybe one semester in the fall, and then you do the same thing in the spring. Now, this is my soapbox moment. Do we teach exactly the same way every single year?
I
No.
hope not. I hope you have different students and that makes you do different assignments. I hope.
Yes. Yes. That would make me so sad if a teacher taught the exact same thing every single year.
I agree, but it would be nice to have something to start with.
Yes.
And then you can jog your memory and be like, okay, well, that assignment did not go like I wanted it to last year, but now I can pull it up and I have something to start with. And now I can modify it and try to make it better this time.
Yes. So there is the benefits of it. Just don't get into that habit of, oh, we did this last year, we're doing it again. Because like you said, Amy, there are different kids, different needs. And sometimes things that we plan just don't go very well.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
all right.
Sometimes things we plan don't go very well either. I mean, I don't know. That happens to me sometimes anyway.
All right.
All right, we are switching to me, I think. Is that right?
Yes.
Is it my turn? Okay. So I just wanted to pitch out and also ask you guys who are watching tonight or people who come along and watch later for some creative ideas for how to use Google Classroom. So obviously we know teachers can use it with students. It really is a tool meant for people who are teaching synchronously. So if your district uses another LMS and maybe you're trying to fight the fight to get this tool because you realize what it could do to help you in addition to whatever tools your LMS has, I think these are words you can use. Google Classroom is made for teachers who teach synchronously. Canvas, Schoology, Blackboard are all made for teachers who teach asynchronously. And they're specifically designed for that purpose. But when you're teaching students who are in the room, Classroom is going to let you virtually observe and give feedback in real time, which is a different purpose from your other LMS tools. So hopefully that verbiage can help you. So what other things can we do with Google Classroom is the thing that I wanted to get everybody thinking about. And I want to give a shout out to our friend Joan Evans, who is the first person I can think of who told me about using Google Classroom for the faculty, which it was totally a duh moment when she told me that. I was like, why didn't I think of that before?
Right.
But she told this story that really brought it into focus why this is a good practice, and this is it. So every year, you're going to have teachers who join the faculty after the beginning of the school year. You'll have new people who come probably throughout first semester. If you're lucky, there are only new people in December, but still there were probably new people who started, like a week after everybody else did, after in-service had already happened. Well, at that time, your principal may have sent out 25 emails with 15 attachments. If you're using email, somebody is going to have to forward every single one of those things to that new person, or that new person doesn't have that content at all. If you use Classroom, all you have to do is add the new person to the Classroom when their account is created, and all of the materials are there that they need, and they're all organized. So there's not a bunch of crazy emails flying around everywhere. So that just made so much sense to me to do that. And I just feel like now everyone should do that. It's just a better practice. So by the same token, you can use this for your department meetings, for your teams, for your grade level team. Anytime you're using email, you got to think to yourself, is there a better way to communicate this that could be more organized, make more sense? And sometimes Classroom is the answer to that. If you're using it for your departments and teams, for your faculty or staff meetings, remember you can do your announcements in there. That's going to push emails to your staff, but you're going to retain those inside Classroom. If you're sharing files with people, let's say you have a lesson plan template that you want everybody to be using this year, then we need to put that in Classroom, not just email it to people. We've talked to several different school districts who are using Classroom to turn in lesson plans. And I love this idea. So here's what that would look like. So what that would look like is whoever is the person who's going to push that out and monitor it, somebody who's set as a teacher in that faculty staff classroom, every week or whatever. So if your staff has to turn in lesson plans every week, then once a week, an assignment would be posted that is this week's lesson plans. And then you're going to post that assignment as a Google Doc, hopefully. And then this is going to give you an easy view to see who has turned that in and who has not. Isn't that a great idea?
Yes, it is.
I wish I could remember who gave me that idea, but I don't. But anyway, I thought it was a great one because I know it's hard. It's hard to figure out like who turned this in, who didn't turn it in. Who do I need to go see and remind or whatever. But if it's in Google Classroom and it's an assignment every week, it's going to be super duper clear who's done that and who hasn't. And it's also going to make it a whole lot easier to give people feedback on those lesson plans, which
right,
ostensibly is the reason why we turn in lesson plans. Although I want to ask the two of you, have you ever gotten feedback on a lesson plan?
No.
No.
No, me
But I'm
neither.
wondering, how this has changed things. If you think about it in the terms of t-tests and
Yeah.
all of the pre-work that goes into it, and the documentation that's going into it, and the private commenting features of Google Classroom, how that could work between those who are doing the monitoring and those who are doing the teaching, and the resources that can be added there as well. Just from the coaching aspect,
Right.
it's huge.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I mean, I feel like if I were a teacher in the classroom today, I would be doing more documentation of my teacher work than I did when I was a teacher, because I don't like getting low scores. And I would want to have the documentation to tell my administrator, look, I did do this, and here's the proof of it. Here's the artifact right here that shows that I did that.
When I'm also thinking
Absolutely.
for STAR training, in an elementary setting, only third, fourth, and fifth need the STAR training or STAR material. So in Google Classroom, you can assign or post things just to certain groups. So you could assign just the STAR material to the third, fourth, and fifth grade teachers, and those poor K through 2s don't have to shuffle through all the papers and see everything. So I think I like that feature, being able to pick certain subgroups to share information with.
That's a really good idea. And also that would keep you as an administrator from having to manage a different Google Classroom for every single grade level or whatever. Yeah, that's a great idea.
I think about it the same way. I just think about when I was a first year teacher and the struggle that I had with remembering the chain of command, the phone directory, how did I take a day off from work?
Are you
Go
losing
through all
Brooke
process.
from time to time, Carrie?
I am losing Brooke a little
Okay.
bit.
Say that last part again, Brooke.
I was talking about how, as a first year teacher, I remember being so overwhelmed with my binder of things that I had, my chain of command, my list of things that I needed to do, and who I called, the phone directory, how to take a day off of work. And I would have loved having those things inside of clickable forms, where maybe if it even came from my team leader as a post, I could have talked to that person without having to send emails and go through all of that.
Yeah, no kidding. You guys know, but maybe people online don't know that my husband is teaching this year, and he hasn't taught in I don't know, 15 years or something like that, a really long time. And we've both been kind of surprised that how much paper he's still getting, his photo library shared with me. So when he takes a picture of a piece of paper, I see it pop up, and I see him, very frequently taking pictures of pieces of paper that he's gotten. And I know why he's doing it, because later on he's going to have that and know it, and he's not going to be able to find that piece of paper. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's 2018, but anyway, yeah. Another soapbox moment, I guess. Another way that I've heard of Google Classroom being used that I think is really intriguing, and I'd love to talk to somebody who's doing this, but it's book clubs for students. So, now that we've moved out of the accelerated reader era, I hope we've realized that you do not give prizes for things that are fun. And we have been telling children that reading is fun. And if we really believed it, we would not give them prizes for it, because nobody gives you a prize for going to the swimming pool, right?
That's
Anybody ever get a swimming pool prize?
This is a great soapbox moment. I'm just going to let you have it, because I could just go on and on about AR.
Oh, me too. I think it's such a bad practice that the message is totally wrong. So now we have to find new ways to motivate reading for kids who maybe aren't there yet. And that's what AR was supposed to do. It just didn't work. It was a bad message. But anyway, book clubs are a way to do that. I mean, that's what grown-up people do when they want to, get reading. Well, we have alcohol for ours, but you can't do that with kids. No boxes of wine for the kids, teachers out there. But still, you could do grape juice, and that would be fun too. But book clubs for kids in Google Classroom. I love that idea. So we had a talk about, I guess this last spring, about cyber safety, digital citizenship lessons. And it's something that our account managers at CDW have asked us to focus on. That they're getting tons of requests from schools about cyber safety, digital citizenship professional development for teachers. What are teachers going to do with students? I would love to see this done. This could be a way of keeping your accountability for all of those instructional technology people out there that are required to prove that everybody has done these cyber safety lessons. You could do that through Google Classroom and have a much broader audience than just a small classroom. You could get every kid in your grade level or even school to join one Google Classroom and complete their digital citizenship activities. I just thought of that today. I was really proud of myself, and I think I thought of it myself. I'm not 100% sure. So if you really thought of that and told me, I'm sorry I didn't give you credit. But sometimes I think of something, and then I'm like, no, wait a minute, I didn't really think of that. And then for your PLN, I don't know who added that on here, but that's a really great idea. Who
was
came
me.
up with that idea?
I was say it wasn't me. That's a good
what
idea.
Were you thinking, Carrie?
I'm not sure. No, just kidding. I think I came up with this on my own. I don't know. No, I just thought it would be really great. Maybe if you had some friends that were outside of your school district, or maybe even if you're like one of those giant districts like Sci-Fair, you start maybe like a 4th grade language arts classroom, and then y'all just collaborate and dump in cool ideas, because you always have those visions of like Thursdays we're all going to meet and we're going to talk about what we're doing, and it just never happens. So why don't you just virtually meet inside of a Google Classroom and be like, hey, we know that poetry is coming up next month. Here are some cool lessons that I have that I'm going to use. What are you using? What worked? What didn't work? So it's a way to have like those vertical meetings, or those meetings across different school districts happen without you leaving your couch. So
that's a great idea. So if you wanted to do that, you couldn't probably use your school district account to do it across districts, because there's this thing in Classroom that will prevent you from doing that. So let's say that that Sci-Fair ISD wanted to collaborate with Klein ISD. Then Klein ISD would have to whitelist Sci-Fair, and Sci-Fair ISD would have to whitelist Klein. And that's always like stressful to try to get people to do that, because they're scared, of letting others into their closed system. But what you could do is you could create that PLN classroom through your Gmail account. So through your account that ends in @gmail.com. Like I've got one, friEdTechnology @gmail.com. It's the one I got before I ever got the friEdTechnology domain way back when. Well, if I make a classroom in there, then anyone else with an @gmail.com email address can join that. That's such a great idea. And it, like, you could get your tribe from Twitter, people you're already collaborating with, and share lessons. I really like that idea. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, I was just thinking when she was talking about that, Melissa and I share things constantly and collaborate on it. And sometimes I can't find the notifications when she really gets on a roll. And I thought in my head, oh, I need to do this in the class Melissa and I played in so that I can find all the great things she sends me. And I looked over to the chat and she's like, this is amazing. I'm like, I knew
there she is right there. Yes.
That moment was going to happen for us.
Well, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Yeah, that totally just happened, didn't it? Well, man, you guys came up with some good stuff. I'm so impressed with what y'all came. Normally I pretend like I don't know something so I can ask questions for people who really don't know, but this time it was for real. Like I was really thinking I'd never seen that feature before. So it's really awesome. Did anybody see any comments in the chat that we should address, or anything we should talk about over there?
Tammy made a good point here. She said she was thinking about counselors who need to get info to seniors or student council leaders and etc. And I agree with that, because Julie Brim, she did a presentation this summer, and she had a bunch of different scenarios for using Google Classroom. And that's one of them that she used, was for the counselors, because they do a lot of individualized work with students, their senior students, their college paths, their learning, their test taking, their timelines. And she's utilizing that at her high school with counselors and just their senior groups.
That is so smart.
And keep all of the information for their seniors inside of Google Classroom. And then she also talked about how they had the younger students who are on paths for different growing. I wish I could remember exactly what they were calling them, but they're principals that are assigned to certain grade levels and different letters of the alphabet had their own classrooms with those students so that they could guide them up until the counselors take them over as seniors.
Wow, that is
So
really
they had
a
all
good
the
idea.
documentation. It was really neat what she had in there.
Yeah, that is super smart. We'll have to go back and look at that list
Yeah.
from Julie again. She's
I mean,
always got
put
great
that
ideas.
out on the blog.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, that reminds me. So we do have a couple of things that we want to share with you guys tonight before we break. And one of those is that we have a new blog that we hope that you will, look at and follow. We're trying to put some stuff there that is, that we think is really going to appeal to you. And I'm going to switch over and show a couple of different screens to help you know about some programs that we have going on that are free to you. One of those that we have going on is called Applied Digital Skills. So this is a program for primarily 6 through 12 students, although like I talked to Melissa about this, and she said that she feels like even her third graders could do some of the lessons that are in applied digital skills, and some of those would apply to her. And I think she's going to use some of them with her gifted and talented pull-out students that she's working with this year. So that's a cool idea also. But here's the thing. We have some training set up all over Texas. You can find them there at that fried.tech/APSKI, APSKI. But we also are looking for a host. So if you want to host applied digital skills in your district, we can come to your district for free, and your teachers can go and it'll be local for them. So it's a really great program, and we hope you take us up on that. So if you're interested in that, you can just email us at information@friedtechnology.com, and we'll get you started on the process to be a host. The other thing we wanted to tell you about is that we have a code for you. You can feel free to give it to anyone you want. It's good until September 22nd, and that is for 50% off level 1 and or level 2 Google certifications this fall. So our online courses are facilitated. That means that you have a real teacher. It's not like you just go in and there's materials there and you do it on your own. It is, you have a real teacher. You can email someone, you can ask questions, you can talk to real people inside the course. So these are synchronous courses. Everybody's going to be doing them together so that you have like a cohort of people to work with. So I'm going to switch over to our website real quick so I can show you where those courses are located. So if you go to friedtechnology.com, you're going to see the annoying splash page, which is going to pop up, which annoys me every single day, but this is it right there. It's annoying. You have to click go to site. But we're keeping it up there because so many people are signing up for our newsletter through there that we just can't take it down. So excuse that annoying thing. But all right, Applied Digital Skills is right here underneath Events and Services. So there's where you can get to that. And inside the online store, if you want to buy vouchers from us, also you can do that. That's testing vouchers. So if you want your whole staff to be level 1 certified, we can sell those to you, especially if we know you're going to actually do the PD, which is really great. We love to sell to people who are actually, working with their teachers to get these certifications because they reflect on us as a Google partner. Your scores do. So anyway, there's that. But on this page down here at the bottom, here is level 1 and level 2. We're only having one level 1 this fall and one level 2 this fall. And I will go back to that 50% off code now while we wrap up these last couple of minutes. So the code is I watched. I don't know if it's case sensitive or not.
I don't think that it is.
I don't think it is either. But anyway, I typed it in all caps. So if it doesn't work for you, lowercase, try it all cap. But pass that on to anyone you want. It's up there for anybody who wants to use it until September 22nd. All right, ladies, you guys have anything else to add?
I don't think so.
Okay, I think we have tacoed about Google Classroom about as much as you can taco about it, haven't we?
Yes. And we will be back for another taco bout.
Oh yeah, let me
we will
screen share while Brooke tells you that. I'm going to screen share and show you where you can find out about future taco bouts, because we've got that now on our website, which is fairly new. So say that again, Brooke.
We will be back October 11th at 8 p.m. to talk about writing and academic honesty and writing and plagiarism. And we're going to show one of our new partners and some of the other things that we have found that's helping with what all teachers ask us all the time. And that is they're scared of the digital world because of plagiarism and copy and pasting. So we want to talk about it and get you guys get your input and what you're doing in your classroom and some of the tips and tricks that we've learned along the way as well.
Yeah, I'm so excited for you guys to learn about this partner we're working with that is really into academic honesty. So if you have wanted to purchase turnitin.com before, but it was out of your league as far as pricing goes, then you definitely want to tune in this next time and learn about this tool. I think you're going to really love it. And I think it has a lot of the features of Turnitin that if you were looking at that, you wanted.
And
so
it works through Google Classroom.
Yes, and it works through Google Classroom, which is huge for probably everybody who's watching tonight. So here's that page, events and services, webinars, free events, and here's tonight's event, of course. And then here is that next event that Brooke mentioned, which is October 11th. So hopefully we will see a lot of you guys then too. And I cannot think of a single other thing.
I think that's it. I think we got it done.
Okay, I think so. Well, thanks, y'all. It was good to see you tonight.
Yes.
And I will see you tomorrow, Brooke.
All right, sounds good.
And I'll chat with you tomorrow, Carrie.
Yes.
All right.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody.